What is it about the Himalayas? Why do they keep calling me back? Why do I feel so different here? Is it because these mountains carry a humbling energy? Or is it that I cannot just let go of the opportunity to drive through some magnificent roads in some brilliant cars? Whatever may be the reason, I would be a fool to pass an opportunity to road trip across Ladakh in this beauty.
So here's the thing. Volkswagen has launched its new customer community initiative called the Volkswagen Experiences, simply pronounced as V. Now, customers and fans of the brand can purchase these self-drive experiences and go on some amazing expeditions. As a matter of fact, the first set of customers have already completed their leg from Chandigarh to Leh. I'm told they had an amazing time.
And I would like to say one thing, if VW arranges this kind of event again, I would love to join because it is one of my best memory of my life. Loving you guys.
Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, everything was so responsive. I was driving a 1.5 GT DSG model. The gearbox was really very intelligent. I just did not feel as if there was lag at any point of time.
We have now taken over from them and we are going to somewhere extremely special. We are going to the Siachen Base Camp. In fact, we will be the first media group to go at the Siachen Base Camp.
The Siachen Glacier, located on the border of India and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, ranges at an altitude of about 12,000 feet all the way up to 20,000 feet. You probably know of this glacier because it is the world's highest battlefield, where between 1984 and 1987, India and Pakistan fought a decisive battle for the control of this region. What you may not know is that it is a 76 kilometers long glacier and is the longest in the entire Karakoram range and the second longest in the world outside the non-polar region. Siachen Glacier borders both our hostile neighbors Pakistan and China, hence providing a strategic important location to keep an eye on their movements. Since 1987, there's been a ceasefire between the two nations and not a single bullet has been fired in this region. And yet over 2,000 soldiers from both the sides have lost their lives. Why? The temperatures at the Siachen Glacier go down to minus 60 degrees. The winds become blizzards at 300 kilometers per hour. And oxygen, just barely 10% of what we get in the plains. Such inhospitable climate has made it difficult for our soldiers to survive in these areas. And yet, the demilitarization of this place is a distant dream due to its strategic importance. But there is progress. There was a time when access to Siachen Base Camp was open only to the military or if you had a solid contact with the military. And the road to Siachen was, well, just a trail. Since last year though, Ladakh's tourism department opened access to a point near the Siachen Base Camp where we are. I will find it hard to come to a more fascinating location for the rest of the year.
I have now stopped by just to absorb what I felt at Siachen. I feel so overwhelmed. It's breathtakingly beautiful. You should visit there. And I'm so glad that the Ladakh government has opened it up for tourism. But also, I hope to see a day where our soldiers are no longer required to be stationed there all the time. But moving forward, I am on the Leh to Manali highway. And I hope to get to Jispa tonight. Primarily because tomorrow is an important day. Tomorrow, I hope to recreate something Sirish and Atish did 4 years ago.
I will be taking the iconic Leh-Manali highway crossing through some of the highest passes in the region. Khardungla, Tanglangla, Lachungla, Nakila and Baralachla.
But you must have read or seen about these passes. So let's take our adventure a little further. From the Union Territory of Ladakh, after crossing the Baralachla Pass, the next leg of our adventure will begin.
Scaling the Shinkhu Pass, that's what I intend to do today. It's the pass that connects the Lahore region of Himachal Pradesh and the Zanskar region of Ladakh. We have done this before, at Evo. Sirish and Atish took the Tiguan to the Shinkhu Pass about 4 years ago. I intend to take its little brother, the Taigun. Let's see how that turns out. And as you can see, it's rained a bit, but hopefully we'll have clear weather to reach up top.
Well, I am a big fan of VWs. And mostly because I had one. I had a Polo GT. And I spent a lot of time in that car in the Zanskar and Himachal region. In fact, 2 years ago, I did the lengths and breadths of Ladakh in my Polo GT. And at a time when that place was reserved just for SUVs and high-bodied vehicles, that little nimble thing took me everywhere without so much of a scratch. And it was such a hoot and fun to drive car. And that DNA of VW, I can feel it in all the vehicles and in this Taigun. In fact, selling that Polo GT was one of the most heartbreaking things I ever did. It may be gone, but it's not forgotten. The sales planning and product head of Volkswagen gave me a small insight of how Volkswagen cars are designed, and it shows. It shows how well this is balanced, how good the steering is, how precise it is. It shows where they've spent their time and money, and I think it's in all the right places. And I'm quite glad that in these treacherous terrains, I'm driving a car which is 5-star safety rated. Knowing fully well that if it starts snowing before I reach the top, I might not be able to make it at all. And then things got worse as I got stuck. And that meant I lost time that I didn't have in the first place. I was now facing a very real possibility that I would not be able to make it to the top at all. So there was only one thing for it. Put my foot down and unleashed all of the 148 horses, relying entirely on the exceptional precision of the steering and the remarkable stability of the chassis. I gave it all in my quest to reach Shinkhu top as soon as possible. I did not want to come all this way for nothing. And then I finally made it.
I have finally made it Shinkhu top 16,580 feet with the Taigun, a front-wheel drive car. I didn't want to believe it, but I have been able to do it. And I did it slightly differently to what Sirish and Atish did 4 years ago. They came here very gently in a Tiguan,
a four-wheel drive car, I decided to rip it, and this car still made it. In fact, the only weak link in this entire journey was me. I was the only one who was having a lack of oxygen, or I was faltering, but this car wasn't. Well, it's getting extremely cold here. It's starting to snow, as you can see. I'm gonna head back to Manali now. Now just about 20 kilometers from Manali, and our journey is just about at an end. It's been a long journey, and me and this Taigun GT have gone through various mountains, various passes, a lot of high altitude deserts, some snow, and some amazing roads. And this car hasn't faltered even once. I really have bonded with this car, and I know you can feel this, but I'm a little heartbroken that I'm going to have to leave this car at the end of this journey. It's a bit like how I felt when I sold off my Polo GT. I wish I could take this home with me. It's a good car. You're a good car. I'm glad Volkswagen has launched these Volkswagen Experiences. It gives people like me and you the chance to drive the immaculateness of German engineering through some amazing Indian roads. I really recommend you to check out the next Volkswagen Experience and get yourself registered for that.